From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Tuesday, July the 31st, 2018. An Israeli female border police officer was lightly injured this morning in the West Bank. The incident took place at the Palestinian refugee camp of Teisha near Bethlehem. Border police entered the camp to conduct an arrest operation of several Palestinian suspects, during which violent riots broke out with Molotov cocktails thrown at the Israeli officers, injuring the female officer in her hand. She was taken to the hospital for treatment, and riot control measures were used to calm the situation. And staying in the West Bank, Israeli troops were looking for a suspicious individual in and near the Jewish settlement of Adam today, after residents reported seeing someone near the settlement's fence. This follows the terror attack last week at the settlement, where a Palestinian climbed over the fence and stabbed 3 people, killing 31-year-old Yotam Avadia. Israeli residents of the settlement were initially told to remain in their homes, but the IDF later said they could return to their normal activity as they continue to search the area. In Gaza, the IDF is investigating reports that a Palestinian was shot by Israeli forces after he tried to cut through the Gaza border fence. Palestinian media said the Gaza man was moderately injured. A cluster of arson balloons believed to have been launched from Gaza landed in the major southern Israeli city of Beersheba yesterday. If, in fact, it was sent from Gaza, the cluster would be the farthest distance, about 25 miles, that such an incendiary device has reached. It landed on a street in the city, shutting the street down to cars and pedestrians as police sappers safely defused the device. Meanwhile, firefighters from here in the U.S. are in Israel this week to help their Israeli counterparts tackle the blazes that have been sparked nearly every day by the incendiary devices sent from Gaza. 15 blazes were sparked and ultimately extinguished today alone. 10 firefighters from California, Florida, Maryland, Texas, and Michigan are working side by side with Israeli firefighters across southern Israel, thanks to a trip organized by Israel's Emergency Volunteer Project, or EVP, in collaboration with the Jewish Federations of North America. EVP was founded back in 2009 and has brought medical and rescue personnel to Israel from around the world to help in times of need. The governor of Indiana said last night that he plans on pushing for hate crime legislation in his state after a synagogue in the city of Carmel was vandalized this weekend with hateful anti-Semitic graffiti. As we reported to you, a storage structure at Sha'arei Tefillah was spray-painted with Nazi symbols late Friday night, after which Governor Eric Holcomb promised to push for the passage of a hate crime bill. He wrote on social media, "No law can stop evil, but we should be clear that our state stands with the victims and their voices will not be silenced." He said, "For that reason, it is my intent that Indiana be one of 46 states with hate crime legislation, not one of 5 states without it." The Anti-Defamation League welcomed the governor's commitment, which it said was a powerful call. Israel's opposition leader Isaac Herzog officially resigned from the Knesset yesterday as he readies to take on his new role as chairman of the Jewish Agency. In an interview with the Associated Press, Herzog, who previously ran for Prime Minister of Israel, said he looks forward to becoming the, quote, Prime Minister of the Jewish people. Herzog told the AP he hopes to bridge the gap between Jews of all streams in Israel and in the diaspora that feel alienated by the ultra-Orthodox, who control most of the Jewish rituals and life events like marriage and divorce in Israel. Just last week, Herzog joined outgoing chair of the Jewish Agency, Natan Sharansky, in welcoming new immigrants on a special Aliyah flight organized by the Jewish Agency at Ben Gurion Airport. Herzog will officially take over from Sharansky tomorrow, August the 1st. New York's Mount Sinai Health System signed a joint venture contract this week with a small Israeli startup that specializes in speech therapy. Novatalk's technology helps people suffering from speech problems like stuttering. Executive Vice President of Mount Sinai Innovation Partners Eric Liam said, "We look forward to expanding Novatalk's proven capabilities in delivering on-demand teletherapy to our clinical setting so that we may better serve our patient population. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Tuesday, July the 31st. At 7 o'clock, Rabbi Jeffrey Middleman talks about the power of collective memory in both Jewish culture and Jewish history. At 8 o'clock, journalists Clyde Haberman and his daughter Maggie Haberman reflect on their award-winning careers with Gary Rosenblatt of the Jewish Week from B'nai Jeshurun in New York City. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with Dorit Imbar from Israel's new fund for cinema and television on L'chaim. At 10, Professor of Politics Ehud Manor discusses his biography of former Israeli Foreign Affairs Minister Yigal Allon. And coming up right after this newscast tonight at 6:30, Mark Golub speaks with Rabbi Stephen Werdick, who is CEO of the United Synagogue of Conservative Judaism, on tonight's In the News. And that's the JBS News Update for Tuesday, July the 31st, 2018. I'm Teisha Bader.